Right, so this area up here is your first quadrant. Right? All the coordinates in this quadrant would be a positive x-axis value and a positive y-axis value. Here would be your first quadrant. Right? Here will be your second quadrant. Right? This will be a negative x-axis value and a positive y-axis value. Right? Then you have your third quadrant. Okay? Negative x-axis, negative y-axis value. Right? And your fourth quadrant would be positive x and negative y. In the middle here, by the way, guys, would be the origin. Origin, which is 0, 0. Everybody good there? These are, so the scale on a graph shows how many units each space represents. On the x and y axes. All right. So example of a scale would be like 1 centimeter to 1 unit on the x-axis. All right. This means that all the numbers on the x-axis are 1 centimeter apart. Okay? So we're going to get on bad here now. Hold on, guys. Just desktop graph page. Somebody let me bro here graph page now, please.
So,
Write on this. Yeah, I wouldn't write on those who have to write on. So we join our y-axis here. Make sure it is on a bold line. Okay, so we go in here and you're labeling it. We labeling it the y-axis. All right, everybody good there? Then same thing here. Insert. We go down to the x-axis, so we can gauge in where the center will be. Let me say about here. Boom. And you label it. You put an arrow. Right? So you put in an arrow. x-axis. Everybody get there? X and y-axis. Okay? This is how we're supposed to be looking here right now. Y-axis, x-axis, we more center, right? Everybody good there? So, in the middle where they intersect here, what did I say we calling that? Origin, right? So, here would be 0. Yeah, let's put another 0 there. Because that is the origin. As the center, we call it 0. So we're going to write the scale that we're going to use, right? So you could write it. Should I leave some space up here, boy? Hold on. All right, I'm going to send this down. Oh gosh, why all you come up? Boom, bang, bang. So you're writing the scale, right, above your page. So you put in scale. Your scale, all right, this y-axis so big. But scale would be 1 centimeter to 1 unit on both axes. That's what we're going to run on both axes, right? 1 centimeter to 1 unit. So let me show you all simply what that means, right? That concept is very simple to understand, right? It means that every number we put, so we start with 1, then we go into 2, then they go into 3, then they go into 4. Every unit must be 1 centimeter apart. Now, some people's book would actually have the bolded lines 2 centimeters apart, like yours. You see how yours 2 centimeters apart? So your units would actually be in between your bolded lines, right? Okay. So remember, I said initially it's 2 number lines we join, right? I said initially it's 2 number lines. So you're putting your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everybody good there? Now, if it's a number line, what's on the other side of the 0? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. Right? Now, the y, I see everybody writing. This is the x-axis, so right? So the y-axis is like, I take the x-axis and I turn it up, right? So going up, what numbers you think will be going up? Positives or negatives? If I take this and I turn it so, and the whole thing turns so, what do you think will be going up? Positives. Coming down would be negatives. So it's another number line. So let's work. Let's work. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Coming down is negatives, but hey, I want you to pay close attention to here. You see this little crossroad here? You know what students just do for me? They just start in, because they're not space here, they start -1 down here. Because I don't know, like they doesn't see this here, but -1 is actually here. Woo! Everybody clear on that? So -1 would be here. Then you have -2, -3, going down the road, right? Bob, you finish all this? Everybody good here? So this is how your coordinate plane should be looking, right? So we're going to plot points on the coordinate plane, right? These are practice questions, right? So they said to plot the point 3, 4 on the coordinate plane, and they are also asking us which quadrant does it belong to. So let's plot the point. Now remember, I told you all when we are plotting a point 3, 4, right? The first value is the value on which axis, X or Y. Check my notes. Is it the value? This 3 is the value on which axis? The X or the Y axis is first. X. Excellent, right? And the second value will be the value on the Y axis, right? Everybody clear there? X axis value is, Y axis value is 4. So let's work. We're going to plot that point, right? So follow with me, 3, 4, writing it here. 3, 4 is a coordinate that we are trying to plot. So where's 3 on the x-axis? It is right here. You all see that? 3 here. Okay? And then where is 4? Positive 4 on the y-axis is here. So where these 2 points meet is where my point would be. Okay? Where they meet is where my point would be. So that point would actually be 3. You come up until you reach in line with 4. That point would be here. Tell me for the feeling, maybe. Right? Let's give it a name. I'll give it a I'll call it A. So we're going to label that point A. Capital A. So capital A is here. Talk to me. Plot that point. Let's put the point and put first quadrant, not positive, first quadrant, right? So anything in this area here would be in the first quadrant. The first quadrant has negative, who's this coming in here, boy? The first quadrant has positive x value, positive y value, right? So I'm going to write that underneath here because the question asks that. Which quadrant does it belong to? Right, so it belongs to the first quadrant. Everybody good there? Right, so we're going to plot the point B, which is negative 2, 5 on the graph above. And then they ask us something about it, but let's plot the point first, right? So let's remember what B is here. I'm plotting these points in red, right? Right, remember what B is. Negative 2, what? Positive 5, right? Negative 2 on which axis? The first digit represents which axis? X or Y? X. So we go into negative 2 on the X. You all seen it here? Negative 2 on the X axis is here. Everybody clear? And then what digit on the Y? Negative 2 on the X and what on the Y? Look the coordinate here. 5. Right? So let me go. Negative 2 and 5. You're going up until you reach positive 5 here. So this is where B would be. You had that, Amani? Everybody had that? Online, raise your hand if you had this. Where 2, negative 2, and positive 5 meet is where your coordinate would be. Right? You had this here, Gabriel? Right. Is it, what the question they ask? I'm going to see the question they ask. Is it above or below the x-axis? Is that point above or below the x-axis? Above. Right? So let's put above. Right? I asked an additional question. What quadrant is that coordinate in? Second. Excellent. All working, boy. All working. Let's go. So, C. So you see what is happening here from the beginning of our topic? It will get harder than this, right? But this is just like the initial stage. Let me go. Plot C, which is 0, negative 3. Now, 0 would be the coordinate on which axis? The first number represents which axis? X. So I'll put a little X here. And the second number would be my y-axis. Everybody good there? Hold on, difficult to plot, So this one, you have to follow what I'm doing in order to plot this. So my x-axis value would be 0, right? Now, since the x-axis value is 0, it simply means that your coordinate is on the x-axis. Because 0 is here on the x-axis. You all seen it? Right? Sorry, I seen it wrong. It's not on the x-axis. It's on the y-axis. Because everything in this line in here would be 0 on the x, right? Because anything 0 here, 0 on the x is actually everything in line with the y-axis. So what is the y-axis value? The y-axis value is actually negative 3. So let's go to negative 3. So you see here, right on the y-axis itself, this is where C would be. It's on the y-axis itself. So this coordinate here would be 0, negative. On which axis? On which axis does this point lie? On which one?
Y. The
Y-axis. Very good. Very good. These things easier, but it's have little intricate things I need you all to know, right? So it is on the y-axis, right? Next point, which is D. D, mark the point D on a graph. What is the distance from the origin, right? So let's plot D, right? So we're scrolling up. Negative 4, 1. Negative 4, 1, right? I need red ink. So D, negative 4, negative 1, right? Negative 4 on which axis? Come on, we're supposed to be sharp with this now. On the x-axis. So negative 4 on the x would be here. And then negative 1 on the y-axis would be right here, that right underneath here. Negative 4 and negative 1 meet here. We good there, Amani Bob? Yes. This is D. Okay, you know what some trainers do for me, boy, when I give them coordinates to plot and thing, boy? Like if I give them this negative 4 and negative 1, they just plot 2 points. There's a point here and a point on negative 1. A point on negative 4 and a point on negative 1. I could never understand that. Right? So we're going to plot all the points first, and as I said, whichever ones we need to write in information, we'll come back and write them in, right? So let's plot D to J. So right, hit me D. Give me the coordinates of, no, we did D already.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
E.
sir.
Give me E. What's E? 6 on the x-axis and? You sure?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's reconfirm that. Finally, took like all sure, boy. 6 and 0, right? Good. So where does coordinate going to be, boy? 6 on the x-axis and 0 on the y. Now, 0 on the y is actually in line with the x-axis. So this coordinate is on the x-axis itself. Everybody good there? This would be E. Bob, you here? You sure? Right. So we go now again. E, F. Give me F now. I'm writing them here. What's F? Give me F. Well, then write it down. Let's plot it. God, boy, I gotta keep scrolling down here, boy. Hey, but that is a good exercise. Look at the coordinate and give me look at the point you plot and give me the coordinates. What is F? Give me the coordinates of F. All right, here we go. Put letters, that's all. Put letters by the dots. Right? Because it can't just be a whole set of dots. Put letters so you can know which one we go now.
Thank you.
We had have a talk, eh? Right, let go. I did F. Give me the next one. F, G. What's G?
Positive 2 on the x-axis and negative 7 on the y-axis.
So positive 2 on the X, negative 7 on the Y. So we're going down, eh? So we here. This here would be G. Everybody good there?
Yes.
Right. G, H. Give me H. Negative what?
Negative 3 on the x-axis
And?
negative 6 on the y-axis.
Let's work. Right? Yes, we finish. No, this is forms 1 to 4, not 4. 1 to 2. Right, so there you go. Negative 3 on the X is here, and then negative 6 on the Y, we're going down. Negative 3 and 6 would be here. Everybody good there? This is H. Everybody good? Right, next. HI. No, 0. The origin. 0, 0 is here. I put it in blue already, but this is the origin. O. Right? I.
Positive 5 on the x-axis and negative 2 on the y-axis.
Positive what?
Positive 5.
Oh, positive 5, comma.
No, not positive 5. Positive 4.
Positive 4. Positive 4, comma, negative 2.
Yeah.
Right. Positive 4 on the X, negative 2 on the Y. So we're going down. We're going down right here. That's it? Right? So guys, I don't think I want to go in. Okay, we had to answer these things, some of these things down here. Let me do this. Right, for this one, for 6, for that point, you all can look at it and tell me what quadrant is that point in? Second quadrant. Right? Is this coordinate G to the left or to the right of the y-axis? Left, right? Okay, is it to the left or to the right of the y-axis? It is to the left. You all say left, right? Somebody second that. Right?
Yes,
Left. The point 0, 0, also known as the origin. Why is this point special? This point is special simply because it's in the center. It's where the two axes intersect. Right? I think I gave you all a note on that. So this coordinate, well, this point, sorry, right? This point, come on, row. Yeah, oh good. I didn't realize I put back. I didn't need to put the chair. Yeah. All right. You ready supper? All right. And this gonna even leave yet, boy. This point marks where the two axes intersect. Intersect being a key word here, right? It indicates where the two axes intersect, right? Bob, you good there? All right. And let me see what's the last one here. You see that a bad crashing Gandhi, boy? No way. Just show it there. Yeah, they can show there.
Somebody died.
Yeah, but I hear they see him fella die, but then I messaged somebody else and he said the first line is critical.